Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Perfectly Twisted. I'm Nicole Eggert, and this is Dave Palais.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Good to see everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to us if you haven't already. We love that. We love you for that. Yeah. So how's everything going? I know you guys had a big wedding. How was this big wedding? Listen, weddings are I like looking at pictures and I like hearing stories. Attending them is a whole different
a whole other thing.
Yeah.
My oldest son was just married, and it was great. It was honestly, it was a great day. And so overall, things went as planned. It was a little bit warm, for a little bit during the ceremony. I think it got up to like 84. And if you're in a different part of the country, like 84 is not a big deal. But for Southern California, it was warm, especially when everybody's wearing suits. So wasn't bad at all. After an hour, sun went down a little bit and it cooled down dramatically. But music was good, food was good. Everybody had a really nice time, and it was a lot. it was a lot. Yeah, my son will probably get upset when I say I'm happy that it's over, because toward the 3 days leading into it, everybody's crazy stressed out. I'm just looking around going, I had nothing to do with this entire thing. Like, I put nothing together. I'm just showing up. But everyone that had something to do with putting it together was a little bit stressed out. So overall, it was really a great day for our family, and exciting. But I appreciate you asking. I was curious to know, and I didn't text you, and I didn't ask you before the show started. You said last week you were going to Dodger Stadium because your daughter was going to perform.
Dodger Stadium. You want to talk about 84 being warm? Try 104.
Yes.
104. Holy shit balls of fire. I can't even believe people showed up to that game. I was like, this is one you watch from the couch in your air conditioning. But people were there. Luckily for us, the girls performed on the field, and we were able to stay like in a shaded area. And then Keegan had really never been to a baseball game before. And so the seats that we were given were nosebleeds, like way up. But they were covered, so it was also in the shade. But I'm telling you, I was standing, like scooching to the seat, and I thought I was gonna roll and fall on the field from however many hundred feet in the air. Like, it's that steep and it's that high. I was like, one wrong move, and I'm rolling. I'm rolling to my death onto the Dodger Stadium field. Like, it was a lot. It was really, really hot, but it was fun. The girls enjoyed themselves. And it's an experience. It's an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah. It's funny. Obviously, I've said on the show, I'm a huge Dodger fan. I usually wear a Dodger hat. Today I'm not, but I never miss a game, Nicole. Like, I literally, if I'm out when the Dodgers are playing, I will record the game and then watch it later. I never miss a game. And so absolutely love it. But I was watching on Sunday, and there were less people there than normal, because usually that place is packed, but still a lot of people showed up. Like you said, it didn't matter who was playing that day. I would not have shown up, and I love that team.
No way.
It was
and I'll tell you, there were more people than it looked like in the stands, because what everybody was doing was standing, like where the concession stands are and stuff like that, where you're covered. A lot of people standing in those areas, not even going to their seats. And I don't blame them. Yeah, but then there were quite a few people sitting in the baking sun, sitting there. And I thought I was going to be so clever. I was like, you know what I'll do is I'll bring an umbrella, because I've never done that. I see people doing that. I think that sounds really smart. And then the first thing I read is no umbrellas.
You're blocking the people behind you. That's why.
I guess, or it can be a weapon, or all of the above.
Take out somebody's eye. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm like searching for a baseball hat. All I can find is a Yankees. I found a Coors Light. I was like, neither of these are appropriate.
Yes. Neither are appropriate. You're absolutely right.
And I can't wear my big sun hats, because without my hair, they're too big. So when I move my head, they like spin. They like spin around one wind and they blow off. So
What did
I
your daughter think about being on the field and looking up and seeing how it looks? I mean, that place is built for 53,000 people.
I think that that was exciting. I think she was more nervous about because they had her throwing some tricks that she's not allowed to do in competitions because it would put them into the next category. So
Yeah.
she does like front handspring, double back handspring into back flip, back tuck, and so she can do all these things, but she does
Wow.
them in a gym. So that field is really hard. It's hard
Yeah.
turf. It's
Yeah.
not like the park. It's not
No.
even like sand at the beach. She was like, "Mom, this is really like tough turf." And I was like, "You got this. You've got this. You can do this. Just think high. Go high." Um, and her practice one was perfect. The one when they were out on the field, listen, she landed a little bit low, but she stood up, so she landed
Good.
it. And it was a great practice run for them. This is the first time this team has performed together. And I mean, no pressure.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
pressure. Brand new routine that's
Yeah.
specifically for the Dodger game. And first time you guys are ever performing together. And good luck, no pressure. Go get them.
Now you got to take her back to. I'd recommend take her to a night game. It's a little bit cooler, and when
Yeah.
it is sold out and it is loud. I mean, one thing about the Dodgers, and you've been to a bunch of Laker games in your life. Since Magic Johnson's one of the owners, they've kind of tried to make it more like that Laker feel, where it's really loud and the music
It was
and
loud.
there's an entertainment factor. Yeah, much different than it used to be before Magic and his group took over in 2012. But it's exciting. It's a party. Usually, it's
It's a
like it feels like
party.
it's a big party.
I don't know that she's gonna want to go back. I think she's like one and done. I did it.
Yeah, I did it.
And like not to be a snot, but like I always when I go, I have good seats. Like I'm
Yeah,
usually like behind, the the
home
home
plate.
base. Yeah. I'm usually behind the home plate or somewhere near there or in an owner's box or I've been specially invited.
Yeah,
Uh so this was like way up in the
way
sky.
up there.
I mean, I felt like I was eye level with the Hollywood sign. I was like, what is this? Where am I? And to boot, so it's hot as all hell, right? Can't figure out how to get to the upper deck. We're on the upper deck.
Yeah,
Can't figure it out. Can't figure it out. And then one guy tells me the elevator doesn't go all the way up to the upper deck. Can't find the elevator anyway. We walked the
no way.
stairs.
I know what you're gonna say.
And I said to
And it's
myself,
hot in there too.
oh, it's hot. It's
Yeah,
humid
the
in there. And
stairs
I
aren't
said to
outside.
myself,
Yeah,
it's okay. I can do this. Let this be another challenge. Let's go. It was 6 floors, steep floors. I mean, we
yeah.
were way up there in the sky. But what happened is I got up the stairs. I was fine. I did it. I felt good about myself. I sat down in my seat and then the sweat came. Does that ever happen to you? Like when you
Oh
do
yeah.
you do
When it's
something like physical
yeah,
and then you sit down, you stop, and then you just
then it happens.
yeah. It was like I peed my seat. It was so horrible. It was I was drenched. I
I
was
got you.
drenched. Yeah, but what it was a fun day. All in all, like really fun day.
Yeah, I was thinking about you all day on Sunday because I was watching and I was like, I can't believe how hot it happens to be, and she has to perform. I mean, it's one thing when the players are making $50 million and they're performing, but
Sure.
that is
That's one
extremely
thing.
hot. So
Well, it was like the 6th inning and, the girls all get a text from a friend that says, "Wanna come over and swim?" So 7th inning stretch, we stretched and we ran out of there and
good
they
for
went
you.
swimming. Yeah, they all went and jumped in the pool, and I thought that was the perfect ending to,
Good for you.
a good day. Yeah.
So I'll share a quick story. So Dodger Stadium's my favorite place to be. I love Dodger Stadium. I've two boys. My oldest son happens to be a San Diego fan. My younger son, who passed away, was a big Dodger fan like me. And so I used to always tell my kids, I go, look, when I pass, I want to be cremated, and I want one of you to run out on the field and drop my ashes. It's completely against the law to do,
Yeah.
by the way. I go, you're going to get arrested, but I go, I'm going to leave money for to get out of jail. All right, but this is the deal. So my younger son and I had this agreement where he says, "I'll do it for you, Dad, without a doubt. I'll do it." And I knew he would have done it for me. So he passes away, and the next year on Father's Day, because he loved going to Dodger Stadium too, we went on Father's Day saying this is where Jake would want to be. And we go to the game. It's a Sunday night baseball game against the Cubs, and the whole stadium's packed. I buy 3 tickets for my son, my wife, myself, and it happens to be the seat next to me is wide open. It's like the only seat in the stadium that's open.
Oh,
And I brought my son's stuff, and I said to the person next to me, "Can I put my son's stuff in this seat?" And they said, "Yeah, it's not being used. Go ahead." It was kind of crazy. It kind of felt like it was meant to be that Jake was with us. And so after the game, and I've never seen the Dodgers do this in the past, they said Father's Day, you can go on the field and you can play catch after the game. And so after the game, we would go down on the field. My older son and I, we play catch. We're the last group that's allowed on the field. And I bring my son's ashes with me. I brought Jake's ashes with me, and I dumped his ashes on the field. It's completely against the law. Maybe I didn't do it. We'll just say for legal purposes, but basically I dropped the ashes, and as we're walking out, the Dodgers
all
put
of
the
them?
sprinkler. Not all of them. Not all of
Okay, I
them.
was gonna say, 'cause that's a
A
lot.
container. It's a lot.
I was gonna
But
say that's a
I
lot. I've been there,
it,
done
it,
that. That's a lot of ashes, but
it,
a piece of it, right? Like some of it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. And I bent down like I was tying my shoe, and I dumped the ashes behind shortstop left field in that area. And as we're walking out, the Dodgers turned the sprinklers on, so the ashes were soaked into the field. It wasn't like they were swept up or vacuumed up, none of that
I
stuff.
love that.
But yeah, it was a special moment. It was sad, but at the same time, I know Jake would have loved it. And so it was kind of wild all day long. It kind of felt like he was with us. But Dodger Stadium's always been my favorite place in the world, and for my younger son, it was his favorite place too. So I thought it was cool that she got a chance to perform there. I remember the first time I ever stepped on the field at Dodger Stadium as a broadcaster. Just to stand on the field was a big deal. Like, oh my gosh, I'm standing on the field with my favorite players right now. And then your daughter knew exactly, like, hey, it's a little bit different than I've been practicing on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a golf course. It's perfect, and it looks like it's carpet or turf, but it's actual really still grass. It's amazing. You know?
Softer than a
Yeah.
golf course. I mean,
Yeah.
harder than a golf course,
Yes.
like more packed. I love that you brought them with you, and like it all just worked out like that. It was meant to be.
Yeah. It was one of
That's
those
just
days
so
that everything kind of went that.
yeah.
It was a great day. Especially it was a hard day, but it was a great day. And so yeah, it was something else. Yeah. Um yeah, I was looking at that thermostat though all day long going, "Oh my gosh, it is so hot." And for people who aren't in Southern California or listening to the show, today is the first good day we've had in about 2 weeks here, right? I
Yep,
mean,
gonna
it's
be
supposed to
82.
be, yeah, it's
82
supposed to be
degrees.
76 in San Diego where I'm at, but anything's better than 100 something. Oh my, it's just that's not what we pay for with our taxes. We aren't the Arizonas. We
No,
expect great weather
we
all the
want the
time.
80s. We want the high 70s and 80s. It
Yeah.
was funny as Keegan was getting ready for her school this morning, she was yelling off what the temperatures were gonna be all week, and she's like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a good week." And I thought, it's right because it's gonna get into the 70s at some point this week, and, hallelujah.
Kidding. I'm with you. I'm with you. I gotta ask. I'm looking at you right now. I'm looking at your hair. Your hair is growing back. To me, it seems like a rapid rate, but you're doing stuff with it now. Like it's not just there. You're combing it. You're moving it. Is
I
it
am.
as your hair comes back? What do you feel?
Well, it was really funny because it was just there, and then all of a sudden one day I woke up, I look in the mirror and I go, I need to brush my hair. It was like, I haven't said that in a year,
Yeah.
or 8
Yeah.
months. Um, uh, so I was like kind of excited because it was like all over the place. And then I was like, I have to comb my hair, which will bring me to my product alert. So I was wondering, like, what the hell do I do with this? It's
Yeah.
like fluffy, and then it can kinda go straight, and I look like Eminem, and listen, I love Eminem, and he's fantastic, but that haircut is not for me, or, what they call a Caesar cut,
Yeah.
it's not for me. So, yeah, I wanted to give it a little bit of, like, a little bit of style, and I was thinking like, what can I use? What can I use? And I hate like crunchy hairspray. I hate when you can see product, and having blonde fine hair, product really shows up. And I remembered back in like the early 2000s, probably the 90s, the biggest thing was Toncho sticks. All the guys used it. But the smell of it was really like intense.
Yeah.
Dylan's dad always used it. Um, and it just worked. It worked. It kind of dirtied your hair. It held it in place. So I went online, and they had come out with a new scent, which seems to be more geared towards women. It's a cherry blossom scent. So Tancho, my friends, Tancho. And it's more expensive. The new scent is obviously more expensive than the old one, but I think it's well worth it because it's nice and it's light. So I got this for like $15 or something on Amazon. I went to all the stores. It used to be everywhere. This is how old I am. And I was like, Tancho? And they're like, what? But 50 other brands make a stick and everything. But I was like, no, I want that original one. I want that one because it keeps your hair soft. So I got it. And
Good.
I love it. I use it every day. I go anywhere where it's like sticking up. It's cute. It's pink. I just love it. I'm so happy I thought of it, and that it was still available. And I highly recommend it. And you know what else I
Good.
used it for was for Keegan's braids. She has bangs. So I needed to French braid her bangs back. And I put all of that in her hair, and it made her hair still soft, but kept it all in place. So I didn't have to use like a gel, which then looks crunchy and wet.
Yeah.
And it held all day. And my daughter goes, what is this, when we were in New York, and she used it for like flyaways, and she's like, that's amazing, I need that. So I highly recommend it. Tancho,
Okay.
go get some if you have any of those problems. It's a good investment. I love it. I live by it every day. So
Good
thanks
deal.
for the compliment. And
Yeah.
I kind of owe it to Tancho.
Are you excited though that your hair now, it not only is it coming back, which I'm sure a lot of people, when you lose your hair, you're going, was it going to come back the way it was? But the fact that you can do something with it, like in your mind, how do you want to bring your hair back to what it was? Like the same
I
length,
don't
all that. What do you want to do?
If I'm being completely honest with you, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to let it get.
Wow.
I think for a while I might keep it short. I'm telling you, it is the easiest hair to deal with. Like, it's just the easiest hair, and it's just one less thing I have to worry about. And I think it looks good. Like, I get a lot of compliments that the short hair looks good on me. So I've never had it this short. So why not? And I'll let
Why
it
not?
grow a little bit longer, take it up. I'm gonna go back and forth with it. And I'm sure eventually I'll grow it back out
Yeah.
and back down. I'm sure of it, because I'll get bored of this as I get bored of every hairstyle. But for now, I love it. I
Good.
just love it. I loved the
Good.
bald. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I was very happy with the bald hair. Um, with the bald head, should I say. So for me, yeah, whatever. It's more about my eyebrows and my eyelashes. I'd really like them to come in. My eyebrows are coming in. My eyelashes, it's a very slow, but I imagine that they're gonna be a slow grower. And the funny part is whenever I do an appearance, or I've been doing a lot of stuff. Usually I have a makeup artist, but there's been a couple times that I haven't, and I've been trying to put false eyelashes on myself. Like, ladies, that is an art form. What? What? It is so hard. They put them on, and then one eye looks like I have a lazy eye, or you know, one's too high and the other one's pointing down. I was like, this is not easy. And I'm
Yeah.
blind, right? Like, so you can only put eyelashes on with no glasses. I can't have my
No
glasses
kidding.
on.
No kidding.
So I'm like in that really close up mirror, and I'm trying, and then I go in and I go, Keegan, how does this look? She goes, try again. It's just like,
Try again.
try again. I was like, ah. So I'll be really happy to not have to ever worry about fake eyelashes again, because I've never had to wear them in my life, so I just
Yeah.
never did. So I don't know how to put them on, but yeah, I'm not good at it.
When you do, like as you said, appearances, and you've been doing a lot of stuff the last month or so, do they usually supply somebody, or do you have to bring somebody with you?
I have to bring somebody with me.
You have to bring someone with you.
And
Okay.
this is the money pit of like, men have it so easy.
They do. They
They
do.
really, you guys really do. I know you have other difficulties that are separate, but when we're talking about vanity and,
Yeah.
glam and all of that, man, you guys have it easy.
Well, as you know now, I mean, just because your hair is shorter, that just taking a shower, just rinsing your washing, rinsing, and if you want to throw conditioner, fine. But still, you can get out in 5 minutes.
I can't.
I mean, it is your hair dries so much faster, and you're moving on,
Yeah. I just wipe
brushing
it
your
with a
teeth.
towel. I will say the one thing is though, is I have to be a little calculated in the shower because I don't have any eyebrows or eyelashes to stop the water from
No kidding.
running down.
Yeah,
So I have to dry my hair before like I can wash my face or shave my legs or do any of
yeah,
those things because otherwise the water literally just goes right into my eyeballs. Um, just like sweat. I was
yeah.
dying. I was dying at Dodger Stadium. The sweat is just dripping, going
It's going
straight
right
into
down.
my eyeballs, and I'm like, oh
Oh,
god,
okay.
there's eyebrows and eyelashes serve such a purpose. Like they're
Yeah.
so underrated. They do such a good job, and I would have never known until I didn't have any. They really protect your eyeballs.
That is funny. That
Yeah.
that 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 is funny. You bring back the old Bjorn Borg headband, like Wimbledon. We just wear
Yeah.
the sweatband over on your
Yeah.
above your eyebrows. Oh my gosh, that'd be funny. Your daughter would be horrified.
Sure. I think I'd be horrified, but yeah. 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 It's a
The-
real thing.
That's it. Public relation wise, are you still like on the tour? You're still doing Baywatch stuff?
I'm still doing stuff. So for anybody who's been wondering, and I know I'm getting a lot of the questions, the international starts the 18th. So
Okay.
in Europe, you will be able to see the documentary as of the 18th on Disney, Disney Plus, Hulu if you have it there, but I don't think a lot of countries have Hulu. Um, it will be out. So now we're starting to roll out doing international press. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a whole new set of stuff, but it's fun. I mean, it's a lot, but it's a lot in a short period of time. So it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm excited. This is much better than nobody wanting to talk to us.
I was disappointed this week that I didn't get any Housewives of Orange County, and then I was wondering a couple things. Is it because of basically the time
The
of the
debate.
month with with the holidays, and then the debate, which they said was going to be the most watched debate in history. And so obviously they decided not to run a new one this week, and none of the really new shows came out except the late night shows were going. But it was one of those where I always look forward to September. Hey, the new shows are back, and then
Yeah.
the shows that you and I love. Obviously, we're going to get new ones in that as well. But the debate, did you watch? It's
I
normally we
was,
don't talk a lot of politics, but did you watch?
I didn't, and I need to go back and catch up. I was in the hospital sedated going through all the
Oh,
testing. So I'm highly claustrophobic. So I can't do these MRIs and CTs. I can't do
yeah.
them like awake. So I had to go do the rounds of all the testing. So I missed it all. And I'm like, what I have to get online. I need to know what this is talking about eating cats or eating pets. Like what happened? What in the actual fuck did I miss? Because I didn't think it could get any crazier, but apparently it did, and I was knocked out
It got
cold somewhere. What happened?
Okay. Well, there's a false story that came out of Ohio that illegal Haitians are eating pets and eating cats. So
Okay.
I think everybody at some point has been fooled on Twitter to go, is this a real account, not a real account? Like you have to look into things before you repeat it.
Yeah.
And this was a false story. I mean, it was one of those where someone calls and wishes, the fake happy birthdays on the news. And if you could sneak a fake name in, it's hilarious. He fell for it. And he repeated the story
Me
during the
being
debate.
Donald, right?
Donald Trump, yeah. And he repeated the story. As soon as he did it, I went, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, dude, that's a fake story. You fell for a fake story, and whoever told you the story fell for a fake story. And so ABC, right on, it said, sir, that it's not a real story. And he goes, it's
Real.
real. And he pushed back. And David Muir's like, sir, we checked with the county supervisor. It's a fake story. There have been no reports of cats or dogs been eaten in Ohio. And it was an embarrassing moment. He kept he didn't want to be told he was wrong. So he pushed back. but it was an embarrassing moment. It wasn't good. It wasn't
I
good.
mean,
And
he's
and then
had a
on
lot of embarrassing moments, but this one
yeah.
sounds, like top notch. And from the guy who's always screaming about fake news, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's a good point. So there are two things that hurt. Like there are things about him where she hit him, and you could go, okay, that stung. Like like kind of like a boxing reference. Like she connected. The one was she mentioned the size of his crowds that bothered him a lot, and then it bothered him a lot that he said people are so bored at your rallies that people are leaving. That hurt. But the next one line that she used that hurt was when she said, "You are fired by 81 million people." And
Oh,
it
did
was
she? Oh,
yeah,
she's sassy. Okay,
yeah,
I have got to
yeah.
watch this because
If
yeah.
yeah, as a guy that's a sports guy, it was like boxing. Like I want you to swing as hard as you can. You're gonna miss, and then I'm gonna tag you with the next one when you're wide open. And she did that the entire time for an hour and a half. She wore him down. I mean, he's been involved in 7 debates, and this was the worst he's looked. And she tore him apart pretty good. It was go back and watch it again. I don't know what side you're on, but I think even if you're a Trump person, you're listening to us right now, you would say that was not great. Just like when he faced Joe Biden back in June, and Joe was looked like an old man with open mouth breathing every time he's trying
Yeah.
to listen. It exposed him. He was exposed, and then she came out right away and says, "Let's do it again." So her side immediately said, "Let's have another debate." And he probably was thinking, "I don't want to do a second one." He has to do another one with her. He has to. He has to save face. He has to go back and do another one. The vice presidents will go out in October. Should be exciting, but looking at it, he needs to redeem himself. He needs to do a better job.
Do you
Um,
think he's
than
capable
what
of
happened.
redeeming himself?
I,
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I would go back and watch if I was you. Like, I know
am.
you
Oh,
will.
I am. I just
Yeah,
haven't had the time.
yeah,
I definitely am. Uh, uh, and listen, I hate to see anybody just get obliterated like that, but I think he kind of had it coming because he's called her so many names.
yeah,
You don't want to come after a woman and tell her that she got her job being on her knees, and you
yeah,
just, yeah, either side of the fence you're on, and it makes no difference to me. I don't care. You just don't come after a woman like that and expect her to not come out swinging,
yeah,
because women have a way of putting their emotions to the side, and and like you say, like, you never want to deal with a scorned woman, right? You,
yeah,
you you just don't. She'll put her emotions to the side, and she's gonna come at you with the best she's got. She's gonna
yeah.
she's gonna come at you intellectually, and that's the power of the pussy.
You know what? People say he doesn't prepare. He needs to prepare. I mean, that whatever rhetoric that is, that game needs to change because she came prepared. I thought it was interesting. Watch the very beginning, Nicole. Too is there are a lot of people who will say they liked the country, and a lot of his supporters like the country the way it used to be, meaning men had more power. And the way it starts when they both go out on the stage, she has to go to him to shake his hand. He won't go to her to shake her hand. Like she walked across the stage and it was like, well, being a gentleman, you walk over and shake her hand too. It was bizarre. She had to initiate the contact, and then she got to me a huge push. Is Taylor Swift came out right afterwards and supported her. I don't know if you were able to catch that as
I
well, but
I did see that. I did
and
see that, and I think that that's it. And she's, like, holding a cat. The meme I'm seeing it
making
a lot
making fun
is
of JD Vance.
mhm.
Yeah, making
So,
fun of
yep, I would look out. I would look out. She's
yeah.
got a lot of young, voters who maybe didn't vote in the past that are gonna
I
come
agree
full
with that.
force. Yeah.
I agree with that. And usually it's always the older people over 65 that show up to vote. I think Taylor Swift brings out a lot of young people that all of a sudden, if they weren't registered to vote, they will show up to vote because of, hey,
She
this is the
said
way
so.
she feels. Yeah. I mean, she's the biggest star in the world right now.
Oh, yeah.
She's a huge star. And people,
Yep.
when they watch different channels, they can deny that all they want, but she's a huge
She's the
star.
biggest star, and not only that, she's very smart, she's intelligent, she's fair, she's giving, she's kind, she gives back,
Big time.
she's got a head on her shoulders. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's not just this, like, big pop star taking her paychecks and living her life. She really cares about the people. And that's the part they're like discounting, I think.
I'm with you. I became a bigger fan of hers when she used to live in Nashville at some point, and she lived really close to my sister. And my sister, every time we drive by, that's Taylor Swift's house. And then she made a move to New York. And when she moved to New York, she took the proceeds from her first album when she was in New York, and she donated it all to the New York City public school system. I mean, a lot of people, talk about putting your money where your mouth is. She did it. As you said, there was, how much money do you need? And she said, I love this city and I'm going to embrace this city, and I'm going to take my proceeds from my work and I'm going to donate it to the public school system. It's pretty big,
Yeah.
pretty big,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
listen, I'm not as Swifty as far as like her music. I don't, it's a little bit younger generation, but as a woman and as a role model, she's everything. I give it
Yeah,
to her all day long. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of her as a person.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't know if I can name more than 3 songs, but as a person, I'm always for good people,
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it was interesting. Definitely worth going back and watching. It was unusual for sure. And then today, as we record the show on 9/11, it was strange to see that less than 12 hours they're together. And it's Trump, it's Kamala, it's JD Vance, it's Tim Walz. All of them are together. I mean, then they are shaking hands and doing photo opportunities, and it was very, very strange to see just 12 hours later, after just a big time fight on TV, that they're all together again.
Yeah.
It was something else to watch. But anyway, that's kind of a quick breakdown. And as you mentioned, there's no show next week. We will be back in a couple weeks, but no show next week, as you said, you're going through still. You're
No, I'm
fighting.
gonna record. So I'm listen, don't hold me to it. I'm attempting to do something different.
Okay.
Dana Wilkie from Beverly Hills Housewives. She has a podcast. We're going to record one tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm gonna send it to you. We're gonna see what we
Good.
think about it. It'll be a great it'll be a great episode for next week
Oh,
instead of having
perfect.
to
So
skip a week.
we will have
Yeah.
something to release, hopefully. Okay, good.
Yeah. So,
All right.
and I think it's gonna be really cool for anybody who's interested in Housewives, 'cause, she's got a bunch of questions for me, and then I have a
Good.
bunch of questions for her,
Okay.
and, so it'll be half about me, half about her and the Housewives, and I think it's gonna be, a really interesting, different format, but
Good.
interesting and fun, if nothing else.
I love that people. I'm glad you're able to provide something, because again, you see the emails that come in, and people are, hey, what happened to you? I'm so glad you're back, and we see those and appreciate the fact that you missed the show. So again, I'm glad we have something to release. Also, at the same time, wish you the best, because again, you're still trying to get back to 100% to where you are as well.
And you know who she is, right? Remember, she's the one that
Yeah.
had the infamous, "These are the $25,000 sunglasses," and
Yeah.
she's gone on to, be more of a commentator about the Housewives because she knows all the inside scoop, so she gets interviewed for, like, the Erica Jane documentary. She gets interviewed for all these documentaries. She sort of pivoted from being the housewife to being, sort of an expert in commentary, whatever that word is. So that's interesting. So she's got a lot of goods and a lot of stuff we can talk about.
Perfect. No, it's
Yeah.
really exciting. Really exciting. All right, let's get to your mailbag here. We have 5 questions here. Again, Nicole's mailbag. If you have a question for Nicole, it's easy. Perfectlytwistedpod.com. It's right there on the website, right at the top, and you submit your questions. We have Daphne T has some questions for you. You
Hi,
ready?
Daphne.
It says,
What you got,
Nicole, when you
Daphne? What you got?
Nicole,
Let's
while
hear
you
it.
were on Baywatch, it was one of my favorite shows. So I wanted to know, what was your favorite Matt and Summer storyline? Mine was the octopus episode, and when Summer was haunted by a ghost in the hotel.
Okay. The octopus one looked ridiculous if you ask me, but from a production standpoint and shooting it, so much fun because again, we're in I've said this before and I will always stick to this. I love an underwater set. I
Yeah.
love um I love it's like it brings back like when I was a little girl swimming in the pool pretending I was a mermaid, and it was my underwater world. And I would be especially happy when we went to Hawaii and there'd be caves in the pools. Like that was like so big for me. So this is like my grown up chance to like live out that fantasy. So to be on set doing that octopus. It was really fun. Like I was hooked up to a rig that would like pull me back and forth, and then this big like arm that came over. Um, I mean, we all got a good laugh out of it, but it was fun. It was all in the vein of Baywatch. It was really pushing, the boundaries of reality here. That was a really good time. So all three of us got to do that, and that was really fun. What was the second part of the question?
Second part of the question was, let me go back to it. It says, mine was the octopus episode when Summer was,
Oh, the
and when
Cornell.
Summer was haunted in by the ghost in the hotel.
Okay, I did not like the Coronado being seduced by a ghost. It was like so awkward to be laying in bed with all these people watching. Doing a love scene is one thing. Doing it by yourself, um, you're really out there by yourself. So, funny story, what I did is, there had been wigs on set, and I glued a bunch of, underarm hair in my armpits. So, when we did the take, I was, like, lifting my arms and pretending I was being seduced, and I had these big, huge, hairy armpits, and they were, "What is that?" And me and the makeup and hair were cracking up, just I mean, I had to make light of it somehow. Of course, it didn't make the show, but, it was my way of, like, lightening the mood and, like, getting through it with humor. So I thought it'd be funny to lift up my arms and have really hairy armpits. So, what I did love about that episode was all the time period, the way they did our hair and the clothes we got to wear. I thought all of that was really fun. And of course, I loved being at the hotel. That hotel
Yeah.
is classic. It's a beautiful beach. It was a great time. That part of San Diego is beautiful. And it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. A lot of it is fun, a lot of it is weird. But yeah, you make the most of it.
How long were you in? Do you remember how long you were there in San Diego at the Coronado Hotel?
I wanna say, we probably shot there 4 or 5 days,
Yeah.
and then I probably stayed for the weekend. Yeah, so it was a good amount of time.
Good deal. Good deal. It's always one of those when you're in a city, and there are a few shows that have been shot in San Diego. I think any time there's a show that's shot or filmed in your city where it's not typically L.A., it's always a big deal, And so when I remember that when that came out, going, wait a second, the Baywatch crew was in San Diego. You're like, we missed it. We didn't
Yeah.
even know.
Well,
It
that
was,
hotel is so timeless, right? And it's
yes,
definitely takes you back. They haven't modernized it much, so it's like, it captured that
yeah,
time period, and it just was authentic and beautiful, so
yeah,
and on the
yeah.
beach, so it worked for us.
And on the beach, yeah, I was just
Yeah.
there a couple weeks ago. Absolutely, yeah. It's over 100 years old, and they've done a great job. Yeah, it was just one of those like, wow, we didn't know. The most famous show on TV was right in our backyard, and we didn't catch it. But I remember when the whole thing went down. Next question is, Nicole. I'm Team Matt. By the way, what was it like working with David Charvet? Do you still keep in touch? And when was the last time you saw each other?
Um, so David Charvet, I knew way before Baywatch. We ran with the same friend group. He went to Beverly Hills High School, which a lot of my friends did too. So I was always around him. So when we worked together, it was pretty comfortable. And then I did reach out to him for the documentary, and no, I haven't seen him in a while. And he lives out in Malibu. I wish him the best. I wish him well. I'm not sure I understand like where he's coming from as far as the show goes, but I think he's living his best life out in Malibu.
Okay,
And weirdly, no, I haven't seen him in a very long time.
okay. Next question. It says, Nicole, when you were asked to do Baywatch Hawaiian Wedding, did you accept straight away, or were you a bit nervous about returning?
Oh, fuck yeah. I was like, "Yes, put me on the next plane." I had always said, "Let's shoot this. Why are we not shooting in Hawaii? Why are we not, like, in tropical warm weather?" So, I was all in. I was all in. I couldn't be more excited. Uh, it was and we shot at Turtle Bay, which is, like, such an amazing resort. I got to bring Dylan. She was little. And it was all of us. A lot of us hadn't worked together before. And I had recently become friends with Jason Momoa right before that. So it was fun to be able to get to be on set and work with him. Um, so no, it was ideal. It was like, why not? There was nothing to lose. I was all in. I was all in from the second they sent it to me. I was like, when are we leaving? Let's go. Pack it up.
Are you just curious about Jason Momoa? Were you surprised, or are you surprised, or not at all, that the way his career has just boom taken off?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, he's a specimen. Like that man is a gorgeous human being, and on the inside too. Like
Yeah,
I will say to you, I met Jason Momoa at like some kind of reunion Baywatch party thing that had nothing to do with a show, and we clicked right away, and we became fast friends. And then when I got to spend all of that time with him in Hawaii, he's just a real like down to earth, um not full of the bullshit. He just really, like, is always working on health, and, I remember one thing about him is he would wear flip-flops, but he would put the thing that goes in between the big toe and the
yeah.
next toe, he'd wear them, like, a couple toes down, and it's like
That seems bizarre. Like,
well, it's bizarre, but it's supposed to, like, keep your feet more flat, like, so that you're
okay,
grounded to the earth. He just is full of information like that. um he was and then he married Lisa Bonet, which to me is like, "Oh my god, she's the next best thing." I mean, like, I don't know if you could have a more gorgeous, perfect couple. I really like his vibe. I really like his mindset. I really like his vibe. I think he's a good guy. He's kind. He's, he's just not what you would think. A lot of guys, when they get that famous and
yeah,
women are swooning all over them all the time, you kinda get a certain guy. They turn into a certain kinda guy. Not him. He's a good guy. He's a good
good.
good solid person.
He seems like a good guy, just from what I see when he does interviews, late night stuff, and I'm like, this guy seems like a ton of energy and a really good guy.
Yeah. Really enjoyed time I hung out with him. Really, really good guy.
Good deal. Good deal. It says, here we go. Question 4. On Baywatch Hawaiian Wedding, they put Summer and Hobie together. Did you find it a bit weird as Summer first met Hobie when he was like 12 or 13 years old?
I did. Um, I did. I did, and they did this thing where they reminded me that I was 18, 19, and he was 12, so that age gap is not that big of a deal. It was back then, and I didn't work with him that much back then, so, it was weird, and so then you know how it is, like, when like 6 or 7 years or however many years we are apart, it changes when you grow up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're adults and you're like, 6 years, like, wow,
Yeah.
that's no big deal. Like, that's nothing, right? Um, so at first I did find it weird, but then we hung out and spent time, and I saw that he's a grown man. He was sober, um, really good friends with his mom. His sister was there, and we all became very tight and very close, and always very comfortable around Jeremy. So
Good.
if you have to have a love interest, it's the best to be comfortable with them. The chemistry comes off better. Everything it makes everything easier. And he's jovial. We just he and I are the same. We just want to laugh all the time. We just want to laugh. We want to make the most of it. We want to have the best time. So he and I are a good match like that.
Good. Good deal. It was great when he was on the show too. Great
Yeah,
guy.
good guy.
All right. Last question. This is Nicole. When you were younger, did you ever bump into or hang out with Leonardo DiCaprio's posse like Tobey Maguire, etc.? Have you ever met Leo?
I've met Leo.
Even though you have
Um,
trouble with the eyebrows and the eyelashes, it looked like you gave a different look right there.
yes, I know.
Okay.
I have spent time with Leo
Okay.
without without kissing and telling. Yes, I have definitely known Leo. Toby, yes, I know Toby from um being, out and having the same friend circle. Dylan's dad, ran with them too. He was tight with all of them.
Yeah.
So there was a big group of those guys. Leo's a good guy. He's another one that's like solid good guy, head on his shoulders, um, good heart. And Toby too. I always really, really like Toby. It's funny, I watched something recently of Toby, like, losing his shit at the
Yeah.
paparazzi because he was trying to drive and he couldn't see because of all of the flashes, and he got out, and I was like, "Go Toby." Good guy. All good guys, decent men, and they've had everything thrown at them, and
Yeah.
they could be the biggest slimiest jerks in the world, and they're not. They're true gentlemen. I like that whole crew.
Leonardo DiCaprio, for me, is a top 5 actor. Like, to me, he's outstanding. I know a lot of people don't want to give credit to younger actors. They always go to the older actors, the Pacinos, the De Niros. Leonardo DiCaprio is so good.
Okay.
I'm just really, really impressed. There are 2 stories that I always think about. I have 2 friends that did this. One was a buddy of mine who went to school with Leonardo DiCaprio before he was famous, and he goofed on him all the time. Like, you aren't going to make it. Like, everybody in Hollywood wants to be an actor. You have 0 chance, and then he becomes a star. And every time I see the guy, I go like, "Hey, have you ever caught up with Leo and told him he's not going to?" It's just always makes me laugh. And a buddy of mine who's actually he's a friend of yours as well. He went to high school in 9th grade with Tony Hawk, the skateboarder. And Tony Hawk used to come on the skateboarder magazines. Like, what's the deal with the skateboard magazines? Because I want to be a professional skateboarder. Yeah, good luck with that. Never going to happen. And we've had him on the show, and Tony Hawk always reminded me, goes, "Hey, by the way, the skateboarding thing kind of worked out. I'm worth $500 million now,
Yeah.
in case you want to ask." And so he brings it up all the time, but it is so funny that he called out Tony Hawk and my buddy called out Leo for, "You have 0 chance of
You have
surviving."
0
And
chance. Yeah.
both these guys are just the top of the game. Always makes me laugh when people doubt someone and they become that kind of a star. It's incredible.
Well, fun fact, if you haven't watched the docu-series, I mean, the Baywatch docu-series, I'm telling you, go watch it. You will learn that Jeremy Jackson beat Leonardo DiCaprio out for the part of Hobie.
Look at that. Look at that.
And it's a running joke with Jeremy and us, and we always go, "Oh, poor Leo."
Whatever happened to that kid? Yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy? Boy, did Leo miss out.
Yeah. No kidding.
Could've
That is
taken his
funny as can be.
career to a whole different place, right? So, sometimes you don't get the part, and it's a blessing.
Absolutely. That is funny. That is funny. Daphne, appreciate the questions. That was great. Again, we want as many questions as we can get. Go to perfectlytwistedpod.com and look for the mailbag at the top of the screen and submit your questions. We'll get them on. But I appreciate those, Daphne. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Love them, and can't wait to hear the next ones. And again, yeah, check for the show next week. It should be fun. I'm hoping it's full of fun gossip and information, and then I'll be back.
There you go.
I will be back post-surgery.
Fantastic. Looking forward
Yeah.
to seeing you then, and we all wish you the best of luck. So, again, we aren't going to miss any shows, which is fantastic. It'll just be a little bit different. This will be released normally, and then the next one will be a little bit different. But I'm excited, and for the people that are nice enough to write in and say they're so happy that we don't miss shows, good. You aren't missing anything. We see those messages as well. So, appreciate that. That's awesome. And again, everybody's with you, Nicole, of what you're
Thank
going
you.
through. Still.
Thanks. Yeah, I need the prayers. I need the prayers this next 2 weeks, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm scared. I'm scared. And it's different. My boobs have been trying to kill me though, so I have a bittersweet. I have a
Funny way to say
bittersweet
it.
goodbye with them because
Yes.
I love them and I want to keep them, but they're trying to kill me, so they have to go. So yes, I appreciate all the well wishes. I need the strength. So thanks, and see you next week.